Alright, so I'm making a video for y'all today on reballing, why it's important, and some of the little tricks uh, of the trade, I guess you would say. Alright, so I'm doing a day recovery on iPhone 7. Chips are expensive. You know, you're talking a couple of dollars a chip at the least expensive. And now I think these go for around $5 a piece, depending on where you get them from. So if you reball and you spend a buck, you know, between your time and a little bit of leaded paste. So that's one reason it's important. Also, if you're doing a water damaged phone, you don't want to put a brand new chip on there. If you know you just pulled this chip off a working phone, working donor board, you put that onto um, your liquid damaged phone, it's going to work just fine. It's not a baseband CPU, it's the power management chip. So, on to the technique. Now, this is pretty simple, low and slow. I use a quick 861DW. I run, let's see, I run 330 at, oh, I'm sorry, not 330 at 50 airflow. And I'll go ahead and spread some paste and we'll take a look. You know, and I've seen other people reball. It really depends on where your comfort level is. Next thing, stencils. Doesn't have to be fancy. I have 3D stencils, but for this chip, there that I know of, and I haven't bought stencils. This is an iPhone 7 stencil. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see it. Probably not. Okay, so it's an iPhone 7 stencil. It does not have the Intel chip. It does have the Qualcomm chip. So you have to kind of make do with what you have, and believe it or not, the cheap stencils, the non-3D, have more patterns on them, so you have a better chance of finding the pitch and the ball array that matches your chip. Now it's not going to be exact. See, this looks good, doesn't it? Yeah, it's missing a row, right? Let me see where I found a guy at. And you can use a couple of different ones. I try to use the one that's going to have the least. See, that's missing a row, or it's a row short. I try to use one that's going to do the job, but has the least open holes for Sawyer to get into. Okay, this guy looks pretty good. Alright, so it really depends on where you want to put it. I'm putting it right here. Looks like I have a little chunk. Obviously I've used this before. Okay, so I got a little junk in there, clean it out. The biggest thing, and I wanted to show you guys this. Okay, this mat has a little bit of give. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see. Yeah, you can see. Okay, it's got a little bit of give, and that's good. Me personally, I don't like lead everywhere, and I like to keep my work mat clean, so I will put down a towel, just a basic shop towel, nothing fancy. I have a ton of these, and they come in handy, and they also have some give as well, so you can press. The next thing I want to tell you guys about has to do with this. It's pressure. So once you get your stencil in position and you get it where you want it, okay, then you're going to want to press down on it. All right, and you want, once you start to apply your paste, you want to keep a decent amount of pressure on the chip. You don't want to gorilla it. It doesn't take that much. You're just trying to prevent paste from getting in between the stencil and the chip and causing you problems later on. The low and slow temperature is going to take care of the eruptions that you guys have seen, I'm sure, and also uneven ball array. Okay. So what I use for balling is simple. A pair of what they call these bird beak tweezers, whatever, curved tweezers. Okay. And this is to keep pressure down as I'm applying the heat with the other hand. Pretty simple. And I forgot where I got this from. Uh, Came in one of my little toolkits from China. This is awesome for spreading. So just want to put that out there because I was using um, phone. Oh, it was the iPhone 6 Plus. The what do they call them? The shields for to go over the backside when you got done with touch disease repair. Uh, true, true. Something. I was using one of those. It's actually right here. So up until a couple of days ago, I used this guy, and this was. Okay. But when I found this, I was like, oh man! And I'm pretty sure I saw somebody use this in a video also. All right, so I use Mechanics brand paste. Um, it's 6337 leaded solder paste. You guys can use whatever you would like. Some people like a dry paste. Some people like a paste with plenty of flux. Now, depending on what you're doing, if you're doing a large ball array, you want to use a drier paste. Okay, so I'm talking about iPhone 10 split line, also baseband CPUs, A8, A9, A10. If you're doing CPUs, you want to use a drier paste because it tends to be more even and less temperature sensitive. All right, so I'm gonna come at this thing like we've all learned, which is come at it from an angle, warm it up. Hopefully you can see everything's starting to boil a little bit. And I'm just gonna ease up on it until things start to happen. It's right there. It's not a race. People just apply heat and they're done. All right, yeah, that was quick. But when you go to check out your ball array, you're going to notice that some of them are bigger than others, and maybe some didn't get hardly any solder paste at all. All right, so I just put a little pressure. Typically, this is where the 3D stencils are awesome. They have square holes. Vice the red ones here, and in all honesty, they do work a little better when you're trying to get them out. These tend to get stuck a little more. Pretty simple. You just put a little bit of flux on it. Heat this guy up until they float again. You're going to see them all boiling. Let them go. Give them a second to solidify. Pull up. And booyah. Comes right out. Okay, so I know when I first started doing this, I used to get so irritated because that's all I used was these thin, cheap stencils, and I was so mad they get stuck. I'd push the heck out of them. Have about 5 solder balls all jacked up, and then try to fix them once I got it out of the stencil. So I forgot where I got that from, but since then they've pretty much fallen right out. All right, so all we're gonna do now is just grab it, add a little bit of flux, heat it back up. And this just allows all the solder balls to be more uniform on the pads. There's another reason I use the shop towels. Once you put it down, it actually wicks some of that um, flux off of the chip. Now you can slap it on just like this. No problem at all. What I typically do though, I'll move it up, grab my Q-tip, and just clean it off. A lot of times with these chips, not necessarily the small ones like this, but the audio IC, um, if you've ever done a stinger on an iPad Air 2, and I just did one, it happened to me, that's why I'm saying it. But if they got too much flux under them, including this flux that's left over from the reball, they will fly right off the board. They'll literally start to bubble on the bottom, flip right off the board. So I try to clean it up a little bit. Doesn't have to be perfect. Clean it up a little bit, that way it's a little easier to handle once you have it on the board. And then just want to tip it up sideways. Make sure that everything is pretty uniform, which it is. And this chip is ready to go back on the board. All right. So that is how I reball. If you have any questions or comments, hey Mark, uh, your way of doing it's stupid, and my way's better. That's fine. Put it on down there, man. I'm cool with it. All right, here goes a NFC chip for the iPhone 7 that I'm about to reball also. But I won't bore you guys with that. So hopefully you learned something. Hopefully these techniques will help you out. If you don't like them, do what you do. Keep on rolling. If you do, incorporate some. See if it helps out. All right. Well, if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more content, better content with better cameras, subscribe. All right. I'm out. Have a good day.